Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm Alaida. I've been with the physical design domain for the past 3 years post my MTech in VLSI. So today I'll be taking you through this tool command language, also shortly called as TCL. Let's get started. If I'm too slow or too fast, feel free to stop me and just let me know. Or if you have any doubts in between, you can stop me and get your doubts cleared. Let's get started. Yeah. So a brief intro about TCL. TCL was first designed by John K. Osterhout from University of California, Berkeley. TCL is a very similar language if you compare it with C Shell or Perl, and it's very simpler and easier to use. TCL has got many advantages, as its name suggests. TCL tool command language, right? So it's a scripting language which is used to give command to the tools in which we'll be working with. It makes our lives very easy. If we know TCL, we can automate a lot of activities in physical design domain, or let's say any VLSI domains. There are certain features of TCL which makes it unique. TCL is very simpler to use. The development time for a TCL script is much lesser compared to other scripts. And once you write a TCL script, you can run it anywhere in any platform, may it be Windows, Mac, or any Unix platform. And it's very easier for a programmer or an experienced programmer to learn it. In some hours, you can just learn it if you know other languages. It has very few changes compared to other scripting languages or C, Java. But even if you don't know other languages, TCL is a much simpler language to start with. There are very few syntaxes to know, and you can develop on that. And finally, it's an open source and free kit. You can download it and practice it for your purpose. That way, it makes it very easy for students to download and practice it. Now let's get started with the basic syntaxes. The TCL files come with an extension .tcl. So any file you open to write a TCL script should have .tcl as the extension, and you have to execute that file after writing all your TCL commands using the command called tcl-sh. This is the way you have to execute the file in your command prompt. So here there is an example for TCL script. So let's go line by line. This first line is a commented line. If you have an ash as a in your line in front of your in the first line, if you have the ash as a first letter in your line, then it's a comment that will not be executed by your TCL command prompt. So this is a command and a comment, and it will not be printed in your command prompt at all. So any line you want to just add for reading it later. When you write a TCL program, you will have to review the script after some months or years. At that time, you won't remember what is the purpose of writing a specific line in that manner. So just for your reading purpose, if you want to write certain comments, you can add an ash in front of the line and it will not be executed. You can write anything there and you won't get any error. So this is just for understanding purpose. You're just adding certain lines. And puts is the command. This is the first command we are learning. Puts is a command to print anything in your command prompt. So puts within and double quotes if you write anything that's going to be printed in your command prompt when you execute a TCL script. Okay. And also when you write a line, and if you just write your second command in the second line, then there is no error. But if you have to write two commands in the same line, you have to use a semicolon. You have to use a semicolon if you have to write another command here. If you want to write a puts command or some other command, the same line, you have to use a semicolon. But then if you're going to write a command in the next line, there is no need to use any semicolon here. Okay. So to terminate a command in TCL, you have to either use a semicolon or you have to go to the next line. So the next command which we're going to see is a set command. If you have to set a value to any variable, the command used is set. So in this line, if you see, there are three words. The first word represents the command, and the second word is the variable which you're setting, and the third word is the value which you're setting to the variable. So this is a command. A is the variable and 20 is the value which we are setting to the variable A. Okay. So first is the name of the command, and the additional words, whatever comes after the command, are called as arguments to the command. So the variable A is the first argument to the command set, and the value 20 is the second argument to the command set. And each word is separated by spaces. If there are no space, then it's an error. It should have at least a single space between each words in the command. When we write any command, how TCL executes is through two steps. It first parses the command and then executes the command. So for example, here, let's just take, there is a command like set A to 2, and we have another variable set B to $A. If we have a script like this, in the first step, while parsing the file, TCL does not apply any value to these variables. It just parses the script and tries to substitute the values. For example, the first line does not have any substitution required. It's directly given as 2. Here, the value for A is 2. So it just parses that. And if there is an error here, if there is no space here, if the value is missing or the variable is wrongly given, then TCL will immediately throw an error while parsing. When it comes to the second line, it sees that set B is $A. $A, when there is a dollar sign before a variable, it tries to substitute the value for that variable. So here, while parsing, what TCL interpreter does is, it just makes the script like this. It sets B to 2. This is what it does when it parses. Then when the script is in execution stage, it applies the value to the variable. In the second step, it applies value 2 to B. In first step, it just substitutes what value is supposed to be applied to B. This is how TCL script is executed by the interpreter. And in the parsing stage, it just goes through all the lines, does the substitution. If there is an error, the script just abruptly stops and it throws an error. If there is no error, then it would continue to the next step. So, as said here, in the parsing stage, TCL performs substitution. Let's see what kind of substitutions TCL performs. So there are 3 forms of substitution which TCL performs. First one being variable substitution. The example which I showed you previously is a variable substitution where, set B is $A. A is a variable, and the variable, if you add a dollar sign before a variable, it's called variable substitution. If the variable is already set, it tries to apply the value of the variable here. So yeah, so here if you see, variable substitution is triggered by a dollar sign character. It passes the value of the TCL variable to be inserted into a word. So if we see another example here, this is a piece of a TCL code again, where set A to 2, the variable A takes the value 2. EXPR is called expression. We'll look into this when in a bit from now, not right now, but later we'll explain what EXPR is. But briefly to know, EXPR is called expression. It performs mathematical operations. So here, EXPR $A into 2, meaning it has to perform the multiplication operation between variable A and the number 2. So here, in the first step, while TCL script is parsed, interpreter applies the values like EXPR. Instead of $A, it substitutes it with 2 and then into 2. In the next step, when the TCL has to evaluate this piece of code, at that time, it would just perform the multiplication operation. And the value of this expression would be 4. The next substitution is command substitution. So command substitution is any piece of code should have a command, then a variable, and then a value to that variable. So if you see set is the command, A is a variable, and 2 is the value which has to be assigned to this variable. So in this command, if we see set is a variable command, B is the variable, and the value to the variable is not a direct value, and it's not a variable substitution. Now it is a command substitution. Command substitution means it has to perform some operation to get a value here. So in this case, it has to perform a mathematical substitution, and the mathematical result will be the value for this P. So to perform this command, anything within a rectangular braces is called a command substitution. So in this case, the TCL parser would just first set B to EXPR 2 into 2. Then it executes this piece of line. It would set B to 4. But in the previous case, there is no set command used here. This is just an evaluation. It's not within a command substitution, I mean the rectangular braces. So the outcome of this is not set to any variable. It is just evaluated, but it's not set to any variable. It will just print EXPR 2 into 2 here. But here it is set to the variable B, and if only a rectangular braces is used, it would evaluate the value and set it to B. Yeah. So the next substitution is backslash substitution. Backslash substitution is used to insert certain special characters. For example, if you have to set a value to a variable, but you just want to set the same words as it is, you don't want to apply any special meaning. EXPR has a special meaning in TCL. This kind of a rectangular braces has a special meaning. The star has a special meaning. So these special meanings, if you don't want to apply, if you want to ignore it, if you want to just set the value of B to EXPR $A into 2, you don't want to substitute here, you don't want to do an evaluation, if you just want to apply it as it is, then you use a backslash to ignore these special characters. Wherever there is a special character, you have to use a backslash and ignore the special character. So here there's an example. Let's see this. Here the command is set, and the variable to be evaluated is message. So message should be given a value. The value which is assigned for message is this whole thing. This is a string value which is applied to the message. So if you see here, X, and there is a colon backslash. The first, sorry, can you mute yourself? So the first backslash ignores a space here. And the second backslash ignores the dollar symbol. If the dollar symbol is not ignored, it will try to apply an value if a variable is given here. If a variable is not given here, if it just sees a dollar symbol, it will throw out an error if a backslash is not applied. To just say the next upcoming letter is not a variable. And then this is purposefully given here. This is not a backslash, this is a forward slash, and forward slash does not have any special meaning in TCL. If a forward slash is given, it will just take it as it is, as a string value. And a backslash n, this is a new line character. Whenever TCL sees n backslash n, whatever comes after that would be printed in the next line. Okay. So if this whole thing is set to the variable called message, this is how it looks. It prints X and then backslash. The space, it has ignored the space, so it will print the space. It has ignored the special character dollar, it will print it. Then till dozen, it prints till dozen. Then the new line character, so this entire part goes to the next line. So gasoline, and again it ignores the space, it ignores the dollar symbol, and then it prints till gallon as it is. Any doubts so far? Are you able to understand? Yeah, sure.
I have a doubt, like in a set message X, double colon, double black, slash
Backslash.
and $2. Instead of $2, if we give the any string value, so it will consider or not?
If there is a backslash, it's going to consider everything as a string, and it's just going to print it. You can have, instead of 2, you can have anything here. Even the before this line, if you had a set A2, you can have $A here, but if a backslash is there, it's going to ignore this special character and it's just going to print it as $A.
Okay. And one more doubt, like in a like verification, how we'll apply this concept? Like how we'll write the TCL script in our
first let's understand this concepts first, then we'll incorporate it. You can use TCL scripts for various purposes. If not for your verification or into your domain, there'll be a lot of places where you have to collect your reports, present what was the improvement previously, what is an error. So to surpass any of the reports, you can use it. You can just use TCL to collect information on how your quality of result is. Each and every time, you don't have to manually go and collect information on how your quality is or if there is any error. So you can scan through all your logs and reports using TCL.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Anyone else?
Ma'am, why are we using 2 backslashes? Only one backslash, what will it happen?
Only one backslash is enough. Here, 2 backslashes are used because the first one is used to ignore the space here. The second one is for the dollar symbol here. If you just have one, then only the immediate next letter is going to be ignored, not the entire line. So if you just have a backslash here, dollar will be ignored. If only it was here, the space will be ignored. It will try to substitute for this variable. So one backslash, only one letter, the immediate next letter it's going to ignore from considering it as a special character.
Okay, ma'am, got it, ma'am.
Shall we continue?
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, you are saying that dollar is ignored, but dollar is printed in the output. How?
Okay. Ignored meaning it's ignoring dollar. See, in TCL, if you have to substitute a variable's value, you use the special character called dollar. So here in this case, if you use a dollar, it's trying to apply the value of A here. How to fetch the value of any variable in TCL is using a symbol called dollar. Here, if you have a backslash, instead of applying the value to this, it's just going to take dollar as dollar.
Okay, ma'am.
Just to be very clear, The TCL has many special characters as such, but sometimes you just want the special character to be used in your script as it is. You don't want to do a multiplication, but in your script, you just want the symbol. You don't want a special meaning for the symbol to be applied. Sometimes you just want to use, if in case if someone's name is just has a dollar sign or any underscore sign as it is, you want it to be printed as it is. You don't want TCL special application to be used there. You just want the variable. At that time you can use a backslash. Right? Is that okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Anyone still has a confusion what is being ignored here? Okay, and just to be very clear, in any programming languages, we just go by this word called set. It sets a value, but how do computer understand what to perform when such an word is given? If we just type SET, what action it has to perform? How do computer understand that? There will be a set of procedures written inside the TCL interpreter. When you download TCL, there comes some files along with it. So internally, we'll not be able to view it though. Internally, it has a meaning for each and every command we use. There will be a set of procedures written. So whenever you use such a command, a set command or a dollar symbol, it goes and invokes that procedure and tries to understand the meaning of it. So there will be some commands, 100 or 200, certain amount of commands, which is there along with the TCL interpreter. So when you write using those words, it goes and tries to apply the meaning through whatever is stored. So when we don't want any meaning to be applied, we just want the word to be used as it is, or that particular letter to be used as it is, we use a backslash. We tell the interpreter, don't go and check in your proc and apply meaning for this. You can ignore this and print it as it is. Okay, is that giving some insight to you? Let's continue.
Yes,
then.
ma'am. Ma'am, this meeting is going to end. Can we rejoin?